Good morning and happy Saturday to all of you joining me live for today's Saturday session, travel marketeering Saturday session. That's a lot to say. Anyway, welcome. Thank you for joining me live. Of course, you could be watching this on our YouTube channel. It gets posted every Monday following our show. And you can find that on our YouTube channel. Just search YouTube for World Via Travel Network, and you'll find our channel. You'll find this playlist, or a playlist for all the travel marketing sessions, along with some other great content. So please subscribe and like and share and all the things, right? All right. I am so excited to be here with you today live and talking to you about SEO, search engine optimization, specifically strategies for your travel business. If you have joined any of these sessions in the past, we are always talking about SEO, discoverability. It's tied into everything that you should be doing within your business to build marketing. Um, so I realized I didn't have all my windows open, so I saw that Peggy jumped in. I was going to get to this and say that the chat feature is not enabled, but Q&A is. So you can ask your questions, or you can jump in like Peggy did already and said, hello from Peggy in St. Louis, Missouri. Very good to see you. Thank you, Peggy, for jumping in and making sure that I had all my screens open. If you are new to Travel Marketeering Sessions. My name is Joshua Harrell, and I have been a lifelong marketer and sales person. And I got my start with a unknown company at the time who sold lotions and potions. And during my time with them, they launched a makeup line called Bare Minerals. And from that, if you are familiar with Bare Minerals, just it was history making, and it was an amazing experience, and then allowed me to explore so many different things that I wanted to do in my life, from music to fashion to jewelry, in my own skincare line, cosmetic line. Uh, and I'd like to say, in front of everyone, I failed at every single one of those ventures. Okay. So I know you're like, why should I listen to this person who failed at everything? Well, because I am very aware of why I failed. And that has been really the basis of why I am so I'm definitely opinionated when it comes to marketing and sales strategies. I am so fortunate that I joined the travel industry in 2017 and became a part of a thriving host agency, World Via Travel Network. And it is something that it is probably the thing that I am most proud of in my life is being a part of a network of agency owners and advisors who are constantly following their dreams, learning, growing, evolving, and being ultimate marketers. And specifically, what we talk about here is travel marketeering, selling your travel products and services through systems. Because one of the things I learned by all those little failures, that chain of disappointment, I know it sounds so sad, right? Is that you have to be everything as an entrepreneur in your business. But marketing is only one component of what you do. Sales is one component of what you do. Operations is another component. Accounting, all of that stuff. It's all a part. It's all your every woman or man. You are everything in your business. So you have to create systems around your marketing so you can set it, not forget it, but go on and go about your day, and then make small tweaks and enhancements uh, whenever you can get back to it and touch it. So it isn't something that when you step away from it, it stops running. Okay. So that's what we're always talking about. I didn't actually explain in Worldview Travel Network, I am the Chief Revenue Officer, and you might wonder, what does that mean? That means that I'm in charge of marketing, sales, and service delivery within our company. Doesn't that sound a lot like you if you are a business owner? Yeah. So when I'm talking to you about these things, I'm talking about things that I know, and specifically SEO, search engine optimization. It is the crux of everything that you do with your online presence. So we're going to really focus on your website. And if you have a website, the things that we're going to talk about are going to help you enhance what you're doing with your website. If you don't have a website, what we're going to talk about is going to really color in areas where you might not necessarily be thinking. You might be thinking about, what does my website look like? And we talk about that a lot in these sessions, right? This is about optimizing it specifically for Google and Bing, for those who use Bing, for all the search engines, right? To be able to crawl your site, find your content, and serve it up to their users. That's what we mean by increasing your discoverability. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room, and that is that I am literally coming to you from my garage. So, I threw some sequin cloths up to cover some business, but I will say I'm in my garage. I promise that if you tune in next week, it will be a transformation into a beautiful studio, because while I enjoyed coming to you live from my office in the past, it was filled with all my Disney memorabilia. I need to be home on Saturdays, as I'm sure you are home right now, and I hope you've got a cup of coffee or some tea. And if you've got fur babies, they're all around you. You've got your laptop open, maybe have an iPad, your phone, because you might get inspired to do some searching on the web. So while we're doing this, but I don't want you to break away from what we're talking about. As I said earlier with Peggy's comment, Q&A down below. Please drop in your questions throughout. I'm going to pop over from time to time and answer them. It doesn't have to be questions. You can just give me a TM for travel marketeering. That is essentially an amen if you like what we're talking about. If you are adding to the conversation, it is very, very helpful if you're asking a specific question, especially about your business and what you're doing around your marketing. Some details are always very, very helpful, because it's hard to have a conversation through the chat. But if you give me some more details, I'll definitely give you very specific advice, and other people within the audience can jump in as well. And that's always very helpful. So very, very proud of you for showing up this morning. And let's pop over to the Q&A before we dive in to all the different things that we're going to talk about. So Amanda, again, thank you so much, Amanda, for joining us, coming to us from Charlotte. Love Charlotte. Let's see. Althea again joining. Happy TM to you all. Love it. Thank you, Althea. Daniela, TM, good morning from South Carolina. Very good to see you, Daniela. And Peggy said, I like the mustache and goatee, makes you look more distinguished. Oh, well, forget SEO. Let's just talk about me. No, thank you, Peggy. And Amanda said TM, giving us a TM there. Mandy's here from Marietta, Georgia. So glad to see you, Mandy. I am here in Atlanta. Steve said, good morning from Arkansas. Wow, we're getting all the stuff. Erica, good morning, and a TM. Erica is our Director of Member Development, who is just here in our Roswell, Georgia office doing a week-long accelerator course, which is everything you need to know to really accelerate your business, after you've launched it, or even if you want to get started before you launch your business. So she's here all week, and I'm sure she's headed to or at the airport right now. Very happy to see you, Erica, this week. Carol, good morning from Wisconsin. All right, I got you, Carol. Maria said hi from New York. Love it. Uh, Peggy, I'm going to come back to you, okay? Because you're adding some specifics here. Kristen, greetings from Ohio. I love we're getting all the states in here. Melissa, good morning from Minnesota. Love it. Paul, good morning from Fort Worth. Man, it's going to take me a while to get through this. Peggy's given us a TM. Morning, everybody. Paula from Las Vegas, Nevada. We are getting all the states. Robin from Tewksbury, Massachusetts. Good morning. I like Tewksbury, and I would say it just like that. Jenny, you have your hand raised, and normally I would unmute you and we could chat, but my audio in here is a little messed up. So, here she goes. Jenny, TM, I have a question. Let's see. Okay, Jenny, you got some specifics. Let me come back to it, okay? Let's dive in, okay? And then again, add your questions, and if you guys look in the Q&A, you'll see Peggy and Jenny have dropped in some good questions that we will definitely address. So I'm not ignoring you, but I do want to jump in. So let's talk about search engine optimization, SEO. I will say that most of the time when I speak to people who are non-marketers but need to be marketers for their business, they throw SEO around all the time. Like, I need a website for SEO. That's not really what that is. You need a website because you need to carve out your space on the web. You need that a website is a way that people can validate that you are a business. They can learn more about your business. Your website is like the storefront of the past, where when I say the past, for those of you who have storefronts, I'm not saying that that's out of date. I'm just saying that in the past, if you wanted to open a business, you had to have a storefront or you had to have office space in order for people to consider you a legit business and for you to transact business. Well, in today's world, you can have both. Or if you are home-based, you can use your website as where you're carving out space. You're homesteading on the web, and you're trying to take up as much space as you can. And while people can use your website to validate who you are and learn more about you and hopefully convert, because that's the ultimate action that we're looking for when someone comes to our website, is to convert. You're also using platforms like Google, like Bing, like even ChatGPT, Perplexity, all the different the AI tools. You're leveraging them. You're leveraging your content so they will present you in front of an unknown audience. And that's a way for you to attract new leads to your business. Okay. So the search engine optimization part of that is making sure your website is friendly. It plays nice in the sandbox with these tools. And there's no guarantee with what you do on your website that it is going to, you're not going to launch your website, do all the things, and all of a sudden thousands of people are going to come to your website. It doesn't work like that. But there are strategies, practices, best practices that every business should employ in order to increase their opportunity to be discovered by unknown users. Okay. So that's the optimization part. You're optimizing your site, so it is increasing your discoverability. Now, I want to add a little a little, not a caveat, but a little aside here. Um, for social media platforms that are indexable, which indexing is when Google sends, I've done this before, when Google sends these little spiders out to your website and it crawls every word, every image, every link. It just like consumes your website. So it has a picture of it so it can figure out what to uh, what to present to people who are searching for things. So sorry, I was acting out my spiders and I completely lost track of what I was saying. Now I remember. So social media platforms that are indexable, meaning that Google can crawl and read the content, and present those in its search engine results. Um, those are ones where you want to use some of these same strategies that we're going to talk about today to make the most of that. Now, you might ask, what social media platforms are indexable? Well, Instagram is not. I will say it's occasionally you'll get some of the content, but mainly you get user information through the search engine results. Now that might change over time, but what I've seen most of the time is if you search for, say, a person or a place, Instagram will pop up, but not necessarily all the content that are in that's in the post. Again, that might change over time, but Instagram has really been very protective of their environment. While there is a web interface, it's really wants to live on a mobile device. So that is not as I would not be as concerned about indexing. However, on the platform, your content, optimizing your post to ensure discoverability within Instagram. Yes, that is very helpful. So sell if you sell trips to Paris, then look for ways that you can be found on Instagram using content where you're mentioning Paris a lot, right? Or you're tagging Paris. That's another key element. But Facebook is one that is indexable uh, for public content. So if you have a business page, indexable, right? So your content can be found through search engine results. Um, Twitter is or X. Sorry. Ooh, I just got out of date really fast. X is also a indexable social media platform. And that's why I still like to use it. I still deploy content on X, even though I don't play in X. It's still something, it takes over a certain section on the search engine results page. So I might as well take advantage of it. I don't know who is going to see my content. So, and how they might get there. And some people, it might be through Google presenting an X post. Gosh, that's a hard habit to break. I've been saying Twitter so much in tweets. To say X is a little bit of a challenge. So those are indexable, and I would make sure that some of the things that we're going to talk about, I would employ that in my strategy and my content creation on those platforms. And another big one, and this is the first in our strategies for SEO, and that is your local SEO. So working on how you can be discovered within your local market where that's applicable. Some people serve the entire country, and some people work within their region. Some people work within their city, their town. Um, but local SEO is the first in my checklist on SEO strategies. So why I'm tying this to the social media side of things is, guess who has social media for business? Google. They have Google My Business. And that is free, just like all the social media platforms. It's free for you to claim. So if you haven't claimed it yet, please do. Just search Google My Business, and they do a great job of making sure they get discovered because they are Google. So they own that space. Very easy for you to set up your business. Really important if you have a store front. You definitely need to make sure that you claim that business, that address. It shows up in different maps, map tools, things like that. But it is having a Google My Business page is really the most integral part of local SEO when you're looking at being found within your area. So travel agencies near me, right? If you list your business as a travel agency and you're in Decatur, Georgia, which is where I am, I'm still inside 285, so I still say Atlanta, but I'm in Decatur. But if my travel agency is here in Decatur, then I will want to be discovered by people who are looking for travel agencies in Decatur. Well, there are a few. I know there are a few. So I want to make sure that my Google My Business page has it's the most robust profile. It's got all the information. It's got all the keywords, and we're going to talk about keywords in just a minute. It's got photos of travels. It's got photos of my storefront. Now you can have a Google My Business page without a physical storefront. And it'll go through when you set up, it'll go through, you need to have a business address. But you can say that this is not one where you meet clients. So that does localize your business in your particular area. So again, I Google My Business. I could do a whole tutorial on setting that up. But right now, if you haven't set it up, Google, Google My Business, and you'll be able to set that up. It is again free to set up, and it'll guide you through the steps. It'll say, do you take appointments at this location? If you're not a storefront, then you don't. But you can tie your website to it, and you should. You can put all the keywords, things that you want to be known for, your pitch to the world, you can put that there. And you can put your telephone number there, which we've all used. We Google Thai restaurant near me, and there's the link for the website, there's the address, there's a map, there's the phone number, right? So we're used to using that tool as a consumer, but make sure you're using it to be discovered in your local area. If your local area is where you want to work. And why do I say it that way? Because if I sell family vacations to Europe, uh, specifically for young children, man, I'm really niching down, right? My local market is not going to be big enough for me. Now, I can have both. I can go nationally and make sure that I'm discoverable for that topic for people who are searching for that type of travel. I can definitely do that. Everyone can do that. And I can do local if, I want to make sure that I'm discovered as an agency in my local area. But I don't have to be necessarily, because that's a very narrow it's a niche. It's a very narrow niche, very lucrative, and people are searching for that type of travel. Like, how can I go to Europe? I want to experience Europe, but I've got young kids. How do I do it? Right? There are people that are going to be searching for it. I just don't know. I don't think there's enough in the city of Decatur, which is a very small city adjacent to Atlanta. I don't know that there's enough. So again, I can play nationally, globally, and I can play locally. Or locally might not be my thing, but I always start with locally because most of us would like to meet a client for coffee and talk about their trip. Um, Google My Business and think about it for yourself. How many times have you gone to a website looking for a bracelet, let's just say a bracelet, and you end up on a website that looks pretty, it's got pretty pictures, but we're trained to be a little bit dubious of companies that we've never heard of before. And if we can't find an address for that place, is this a place that's overseas? That might not matter to you, but depending on the price of that bracelet, it might be something that you're like, I need to know that there's a physical place, a physical building before I pay for this bracelet to be shipped to me, right? So there's by having that Google My Business page, you're signaling there's subconscious signals that you are a legitimate business. And again, people can still be shady. That definitely happens out there. But Google does a really good job of weeding that out. On their Google My Business, I recently had to verify our office. I didn't realize that. I mean, we'd claimed the My Business page a long time ago. If you search World Via Travel Network, you see it. It's right in that right-hand panel. But when I went into the back end, I hadn't been in there in a while. It said we needed to verify our business. And normally that means sending a postcard, you get a code, you have to key that in because they want to verify that there is an address. But no, this one I had to shoot a video on their app. I had to shoot a video and show them the street sign. I had to show them the front door. I had to unlock the front door, show them the sign, and show them around the office. That's not something that will be shown to the public, but for Google, that's them verifying. They're actually geotagging me recording that and say that I am in that place, and it's their way of verifying this. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. While I found it awkward that I didn't know that we hadn't been verified, um, I'm glad that it had that extra step. And that's something again for your storefront. You can do that. And if you claim your home address as your business, which I have done in the past, I would do the same thing. Again, it's just signaling that this is a verified business, just adds to your credibility. Now, everything that I just said about Google My Business, you can also do with Bing Places, Bing, the other search engine, the one that Microsoft runs, Bing. So go to Bing Places and you can set up a free account. Same sort of thing. However, Bing has gotten wise. They realize that people are not thinking of Bing when registering their business or claiming their business online. So they make it really easy for you to connect your Google My Business to your Bing Places. So all the information that you put on, or the majority of the technical information that you put into your Google My Business can be just sucked right into Bing Places. Why would you do that if you think nobody uses Bing? People do use Bing. Some people have that set as their default browser on their computer, and they don't know how to change it. So they use Bing. And it doesn't hurt. It's free and it's a part of you carving out more land in the web environment. Okay. So if you haven't done it, make sure you claim your Google My Business, go through that process. Very, very easy to set up. And then once you do that, go over to Bing Places. Now, I will say Bing, for verification purposes, they do a postcard mailer with a code that that's how you close the loop on verification. But the Google My Business one has upgraded where they're wanting you to record a video from their app. Okay. So I'm going to pop over to the questions because let's see, hold on one second. We've got quite a few. Um, yeah, you know what, Christine, thank you so much. It's not I was calling it Bing as the search engine, but it is Edge. It's Microsoft Edge. So thank you for, she said, I never even thought about Edge for my business. Oh my gosh, key nugget for today. I'm here for the nuggets. I'm a nugget dropper. There we go. All right. Mandy said, when you claim your business on Google My Business and our home base, what address do you use? I'm concerned with putting my home address out there. So if that is a concern of yours, then Google, you're not looking at leveraging that local SEO in that way, because your address will be out there. It will be tied to your business and uh, your business name and the location. So that doesn't mean that you can't put content on your website, like your contact page with your address, or even in your about story about your business, that you talk about you being in your location as a travel agent. So and so Travel is a travel agency located in Marietta, Georgia, right? That would be a way that you can localize your content and increase your chances of being discovered. However, from a local SEO standpoint, if I look for travel agencies in my area, you are not going to be served up on that. Just whenever you search, and you could search it right now, travel agencies near me, you're going to get that map, and then you're going to get the little the locations, the different locations, and that's okay. Again, you don't want people to associate your home address with your business today. That might be that's a concern for you today. So that's okay. That's a choice that you're making. And you can still find other ways through the content on your website and through social media, on Facebook profiles, on Instagram profiles. You can just put city and state. So that's still a local SEO play. It's just not the one that's gonna serve you up uh, through a location finder within the search engines. So again, not wrong. It's just you need to know what to expect in terms of that local discoverability. So Mandy, totally get it. And it will attach to your name or your business name. Like I said, there's an option to say this is not a business where we take walk-ins, or I can't remember how it phrases it, but it asks you, what are your hours of operation, and is this available for walk-ins? There's some kind of distinguisher there. However, it's still going to attach your physical address. So I'm glad you asked that question. I hope that helps. All right. Let's see. Christine said, sorry I was late joining. I just got my Google business activated. Yay. For me, most of my clients started local or through my network. I'm now picking up clients that I don't know through referrals and Travel Leaders, the consortium that World Via Travel Network belongs to. So that's fantastic. And I'm really glad you brought up Travel Leaders. So, as a part of our network, and if you're a hosted agent somewhere, you might be attached to a different consortium. Travelleaders.com has agent profiles of our advisors who want to participate in those, and I'm sure the other consortia have their platforms as well. We even have worldvia.com as the same sort of directory for our advisors to be discovered. And those are third-party sites, very much like Google My Business. And you are attached to your physical address is not there. It is the city and state. So another great way for you to get that discoverability within your your region, without putting out your physical address. And what I also love about those platforms where you can have an agent directory, um, you're not only you've got your website, you've got your social media, now you're on their website, taking up space, creating bios, profiles, your photos, things like that. And I guarantee you, they are spending a lot more money to get traffic to their website than you can afford to spend at this point in your business life cycle. So by all means, again, I keep saying free. If it's free, take advantage of it, please. But that being on those directories is helping Christine get discovered by people who she doesn't know. She has a strong, rich network of people who know what she does, So she gets a lot of business from that, but she's now getting people she doesn't know through those referrals and the online directory. So yes, so Mandy, that would be a great option for you to leverage a third party platform directory like that, like travelleaders.com and worldvia.com to increase your local discoverability without your location. So masking your location. Really great. Thank you, Christine, for bringing that up. Oddly enough, in my notes for today's session, I did not include any third-party sites in terms of building up your discoverability. I was so focused on the search engine optimization for your web domain. I did not think about that one. Wow. Thank you. Christine's amazing. Um, and anonymous attendee, which I didn't know we could have. So anonymous. I am glad that it said great information. Didn't realize this was available. All right, now I want to get back up to Jenny. Okay, so Jenny actually had I didn't look at this fully, Jenny, so I wasn't speaking to this, and maybe I did. But Jenny at the very beginning, she jumped in with TM and a TM back at you. I have a question. Good morning from Southern Illinois. I have a home office and live in the middle of the woods. I am having trouble getting verified on Google. I've done a million videos. Here you go. My street sign is a quarter mile from my house, and I can't one video. I guess I can't get it done in one video. Okay, Jenny, let's talk here. Lord knows I have lived in the woods before, so I know what you're talking about here. So what Jenny is talking about is exactly what I was describing in verifying her business. So she can claim the profile. So she's claimed the profile, um, and that's the first step. So if you guys don't have a Google My Business set up right now, or Bing Places, you can go do that right now. However, until it's verified, there's certain information that won't be available, or there's certain edits you can't make, and it'll tell you that. You don't have to worry about that. But Jenny has done this, and then she went to do that video that I talked about, which I did not know. Jenny, it's only actually been a few weeks ago that I discovered that there was this whole video thing I had to shoot, what she described here. I had to shoot the street sign. I had to walk into the building. I had to show them around. And it really threw me off. I was like, "Whoa, that's bad." But with her being so far away, I mean, think about it, you can't shoot a quarter mile away from the street sign. You can't shoot all that. So, Jenny, my advice for you is you are not the only one. You cannot be the only one. There's plenty of people that operate businesses, even large businesses, like factories that turn off the main road and then you have to go a mile down before you actually get to the location. In fact, that street could have just been made for that business. So this is going to sound really odd, but contact Google. There is a support option throughout Google. I mean, you could even search, how do I contact Google? Um, you can obviously open it, you can do it through an email support ticket system, but I've even gotten through on the phone to them for different things. They have a really good support center. So I would explain, and you should be able to. I haven't done this, but you should be able to, if you take pictures of that street sign. So this isn't the geotagging video that they're doing when you do it on their app. But if you take pictures of the street sign and you kind of show like the distance to get to your home and include that in your support request for them, I think that would be a great way to kind of speed up the process. Because you cannot be the only one. This is a newer thing. I had not heard of it before. This is a newer thing. So go down that path and explain to them the situation, because that would definitely be a problem for other people. So I hope that helps. Oops, I just did the wrong thing there. All right. And Christine said, okay, I had major issues getting verified as well. Finally, I was able to claim my business through Google Workspace for my agency. I had paid to meet with Google to find out why and everything. Oh, so there is a paid support option here. But that's what worked for me, claiming my business through my agency, Google Workspace. It was insane and nuts. And that's exactly how Christine speaks. So what Christine is describing is she has her email set up through Google Workplace. So there was an option for her to do the claim through there. That I'm not familiar with. So essentially, we're giving you a lot of information. Christine has done this more recently. So jump in. I know you can contact support at Google. I have had to do it for many different things, and I've been surprised that I actually get someone to support me. It sounds like Christine was able to go through a more tutorial, a one-on-one tutorial, but that was a paid option. But it is important to get verified. You will still be discovered without that verification. And I can prove that to you because I can go to my to our business and because it has not finished the verification process. So you can still show up on Google My Business. It just that verification piece, you do want to be able to get that done. So, like I said, it's a new thing. And it sounds like Christine was surprised with that too, but she finally got it. All right. And Haley's saying I've not been able to get the video to work. So she's gonna contact them today. And she is, see, this is what I love about you marketeers, is she said they offer a live verification like Zoom, which I didn't see that when I did it. So, okay, good job, Haley. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So, wow, that was a lot on local SEO. Now, flipping to go over to um, your domain, so your website, having keywords about your location, or not keywords, but having your location displayed throughout your site, whether it's having your city and state or your full address on the footer of every page of your website, or the about page, like I was describing to Mandy, if she wanted to say, "Hi, I'm Mandy, and this is XYZ Travel, and we are located in Marietta, Georgia." Da, da, da. Those are ways that you can signal that you are a local business and make sure that you are taking advantage of searches where someone is searching for your location. Okay. Now I'm gonna stop there and stop talking about local SEO because I want to talk about uh, keywords, key phrases, keyword phrases. This is really important because when you're thinking about optimizing your site, optimizing your My Business profile, your Bing Places profile, your third-party sites, worldvia.com, travelleaders.com, those profile pages there, those showcase pages there. Um, you need to know what your keyword phrases are for your business. Okay. So this is part of you knowing what you are selling, what you want to signal to the world, and that you want more clients that are looking for this. You need to identify what phrases, and it isn't just one word, it is a phrase. What phrases would someone type in to Google or ChatGPT? What phrases would they type in to find your business? Now, I said earlier, you're selling family vacations to Europe, and you've got small kids. Okay, that and there's a phrase in there. There's a phrase or two. Most of the time, your niche is the way you define your niche, especially within the industry, the way you define your niche, adventure travel. That's not what somebody would search for. They don't just type in adventure travel. They might talk about horseback riding on the beaches of Mexico. So they would they would type what they want to experience or what they need help with. I need help planning a family vacation to Europe with young kids. So you get what I'm saying here. It's phrases that will connect to what you want to sell. So if you sell Paris river cruises or river cruises that feature um, uh, Paris, that's kind of an odd niche that I just made up there, but it's not odd. I mean, it just I feel like you would do so much more than just that. But if I had that, um, somebody might search for river cruises that go through Paris. And that's great. I'm gonna use that phrase. But then I also might look for vacations in Paris, or cruises in France. There's so many different ways to look at that, different angles to look at that create my keyword phrases. So I would suggest creating maybe an Excel document. It doesn't have to be a fancy Excel spreadsheet, but creating a document, and it could be Word, or you could just write it down on a piece of paper. For goodness sakes, just do it. Uh, Jot down every way that you think somebody might search for what you sell. Remember, you're not solving a problem, but there's something that they want, and you're the person they need, or you're the business that they need in order to get that thing, right? So, what are they searching for? Get in their heads and just start writing things down. Then, the next step. I hope this is a nugget that you're just like, oh my gosh, I never thought about this. I hope this is. Please tell me, give me a TM if this is a nugget. So after you come up with your list, and it doesn't have to be a long list, maybe 10 phrases. If you don't have 10 phrases, then I would challenge you to get out of your head and think about how people, what you're solving as a business and what they would be searching for. And it is tough. It's you got to get out of your head in order to make that happen. But have 10, 15, and then go to Google and do it incognito. That's the private browsing. You could do it in Safari too, private browsing, because you don't want any of your how you search for things, because all of these platforms are catering what they deliver to you based on what you search for. And if you're in the travel business, it's gonna serve up things that it already knows that. So you want to go incognito or private browsing and start typing in your keyword phrases one at a time. Okay. And when you do, and the reason why I'm saying start typing it is the auto suggestions are going to start showing up. We've all searched in Google before, and you see that drop down of all these different phrases. And it could be very similar to what you've written, or it could be completely different, but exactly what you were meaning to type, right? What that is doing, that suggestion, that is telling you what other people have typed in that search bar that are similar or could be similar to what you've typed in. So guess what? You just hit the jackpot. For every 10 to 15 keyword phrases that you came up with, you're probably going to see some of those in that suggestion, but you're probably going to pick up 3, 4, 5, maybe more of those suggestions that you hadn't thought of. And it helps you get in the head of someone who doesn't know the travel industry, doesn't know your niche and how we talk about it in the industry, because that can cloud our judgment there. So you're going to see that, and it can spark some other creative ideas around that. So take that and add that to your list. add that to your list. These are all keyword phrases. You don't have to use them all. You don't have to use them in every single piece of content, but now you're getting more informed. What are people actually searching for? And if you're typing something and you don't see any suggestions, that's not to say that that's a bad keyword phrase, but it would make me question, am I typing something that is not how someone would search for what I offer? Okay. So that information, so the suggestions after you start typing, and then if you type and you type in a keyword phrase and then you hit uh go, I want to see these I want to see what the results are for this keyword phrase. Then scroll down to the bottom. We've all seen it there too, where it says people have also searched for, and then it gives you some more topics. Not all of these topics are going to apply, but I guarantee you that you will find some inspiration there on some phrases that people have used to search for something similar to your business that can be a part of your SEO strategy, your plan to create content to increase your discoverability. Now, once you have all that information, you might get up to about 50 keyword phrases. I know some of you, I hope your mind is blown that you could actually have 50 keyword phrases to incorporate in your content, but you want to make sure that you're using some of the best ones for your bio, for your social media bios. You want to make sure that you're using some of them throughout your throughout your posts, through your blog posts. You could, some of those phrases might even say, hey, I need a blog post about this topic using this keyword phrase. It really is extremely helpful in finding what you should make sure that you have content on your site in order to increase your discoverability. So Peggy has said nugget. Thank you. I could have taken a TM there, but a big nugget. I like that. Melissa said, TM, I love the idea adding that step as I develop my keyword phrases. Yes, please, please do. Oh, Allison Bartlett's here. TM. Thank you, Allison. Camilla, TM. I love it. And let's see, Carol said, great information on searches. This is a nugget I will use. See, that's why you paid for this session. It's worth every dollar you paid. Just kidding with you. Kara said, I love when you give tangible examples. That really helps me, as you saw for my lead magnet I made. Yeah, so I want to give a big TM over to Kara. She, after last week's session, she created a lead magnet PDF with her advice in there. With I assume you created it in Canva or something like that, maybe in PowerPoint, but created a PDF that then she could deliver to her audience as a way for unknown users on her website to convert to become known users, and they get to experience some of her great advice. So she sent that over to me in my email, which I love. If you guys have other questions after the session, or you want to share some wins, I do love that. Email me, joshua@worldvia.com. I love seeing that. So Kara, next time we do a lead magnet session, I need to pull yours out. Amanda said, TM, great info. We'll definitely use all that. Althea said, I need a tutorial on creating lead magnets. And in that tutorial, we're going to use Kara's example. So Althea, we can definitely get on that. And Jenny said, I get more out of Saturday sessions than anywhere else. TM. Love it. And Peggy actually gave me a, let's see, she said, small groups, personalized tours to Paris, London, Rome, and more. So she was giving me an example because I was struggling coming up with an example. So Peggy, I don't know if that is your niche or you were just trying to help me out because I was doing the my fumble on river cruises through Paris. But if this is your niche, small groups, personalized tours to Paris, London, Rome, and more. Um, I'm going to just take this one as one to help me with my keywords. Now hers, oh, so she said this is my niche trying to expand. Well, girl, I gotta tell you, if you're trying to expand beyond that, that's a pretty meaty portfolio there. Because what I was about to say is she's taken Paris, London, Rome, kind of that whole traditional European experience, right? She's taken that and then she said small groups and personalized tours, so that FIT that FIT experience and the groups. Um, with her destinations, that adds another dimension to what she would be talking about, right? She can now go through that keyword exercise just for Paris, just for London, just for Rome. Use similar keywords, but as she's typing those in, when she gets to the destination, then it might have Oxford, England. It might add Dover. It might even go to Dover, even though that's a completely different area than London, right? But that doing that search is going to show her what people who search for something similar were searching, and she might get inspired. Now, she did say she's expanding that portfolio, but she's got that's a pretty in terms of content and keyword phrases, there's a lot she can do with that. So I'm not saying don't expand, Peggy. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying you've got a lot to work with right there. So once you feel like you've mastered that content and those keyword phrases and they're really present in your site, then by all means keep going. So, oh, see, I have her second guessing herself. She said, okay, maybe I don't need to expand. I don't know in this brief conversation, I don't know enough to tell you that. I'm just saying I think you got a lot to work with. And I'm happy for you. I think that what you've done by saying these personalized tours, small groups, and you're taking those well-known cities, right? That going through just that exercise that I just described is probably going to inspire you to where maybe you weren't even thinking about incorporating different destinations into what the content that you create. So I hope that helps. All right, let's keep on rolling. So we talked about keyword phrases. They're really important in optimization. So on your My Business profile, your third-party directories, and on your website, okay? We need to know these phrases before we really start to do the work. And the work doesn't you this work is something you can do at any time. So if your website is already out there, that's grand. If your website hasn't been created, start with this, but know that you can always add to it and you can always finesse your content and you're going to want to continue to add to your content. Amanda had asked earlier, she said, is the SEO something that needs to be updated when you update your website? When you say need, I would say want. You want to update it when you're updating your website. But I want everyone to make sure that they're not thinking about their website um, as a brick and mortar building, right? You can change it every hour if you wanted, every 15 minutes. That's the beauty about websites, especially if you're on a platform that you can easily edit. I should clarify that. If you're working with a web developer that's created a custom website, which most agency owners don't have, they might have a website that somebody designed for them using a platform, but most are on a CMS, a content management system that allows you to make easily edit web pages and also to create blog content, because your blog content outside of your website pages, your blog content is how you keep on taking more land on the web. You want to keep signaling to Google that you've got new content on your website. That's going to increase your discoverability because it's going to have content that those spiders can index, and it's going to signal to Google, wow, this must be an active business because their website is updated on, there's some frequency to how it's updated. So yes, when you update your website, you definitely want to do this, but I want this to be something that you're always thinking about. How do I take that list of keyword phrases? How do I create social posts? How do I create blogs? Are there pages on my site that I need to create to help people who are looking for a specific, like for Rome, for Peggy with Rome? She might have a page on her website just about Rome, and from that page, she has blog content. She's got different trips that she's put together. She's got pages that have all been created around Rome. Google loves that. Google loves when you have pillar content like Rome, and then there's a whole myriad of content that is saying it points back to that pillar content. So yeah, sorry, don't mean to get preachy there, but I wanted to make sure that we talked about that because I hear that a lot. Like, oh, I've got to update my website, so then I'm going to do this stuff. Well, what I just described about doing the keyword phrase search or research, you could do that right now while we're talking, right? Do that right now. That is something you can do right now, and then every blog you write, every social post, start to incorporate that. Then when you do a revision to your website, maybe think about a little more structure, maybe restructuring your website around what you now know. Because what I found with that little nugget, and thank you guys for calling it out as a nugget, when I learned that, I guess it was about 9 years ago, about the suggested searches, mind blown. Because I would sit in groups of people and we would kick around, oh, I think people would search for this. Or let me make sure my company name is written in several different ways to increase discoverability. Well, newsflash, nobody is searching for your brand name unless they know your brand name. And many of us do not have businesses that are household names. So, yes, that the BDM from Sandals might search for your business name because she knows your business name, and so she might come to your site through searching for, that's called a branded search when you search for a company name. Your people who are discovering you because they have a specific need that you can fulfill, they don't know your company name. So I hear so many people say, oh, I don't come up first when someone searches for my name. Okay, valid, valid. What can we do? Is there something we could do, right? That, you do want to be discovered if somebody's searching for your company name, but I always flip that around. Well, that's important. You should definitely figure out how you can fix that, but how many people would even know your company name to search for you? Yeah. Let's see. What do you sell? What would somebody search for? And can they find you? And you might not show up on the first page. You might be 3 pages deep, especially when your content is first getting published. But you're constantly looking at, maybe you search for that phrase. Um, and always when you're doing these tests, always in private browsing incognito, right? Because you don't want any of you've been searching for your business name. So Google is going to constantly serve up your company name. So that's not the way to look. You got to go private browsing. But when you're evaluating, am I getting traction here? Because it takes about 6 months from the time you go live with any content, whether it's your whole website or blog articles, before that gets crawled and really starts to get served. And even when it does, it's only going to be a few mentions. It's not going to be a lot. But you want to keep checking to see how you're doing with these keyword phrases. So you might be 8 pages deep in Google before you show up, but check in another 6 weeks. And do you go to page 7? Do you go to page 6? Do you jump to page 3? Do you become a Google answer? Yeah. That's what you're looking for. So don't expect overnight success. SEO is a long game, but if it's done right, it will serve you for years to come. And I can personally attest to that. And I'll show you how in just a moment. All right, let me go over to technical SEO. Okay, technical SEO is making sure that your website is mobile friendly. Most platforms that you're operating your website on, we have a product called Sites. If you're a member of our network, it's an add-on product, but it is a fully functioning website. I mean, you can do mega things or you can do really small things. It doesn't matter. You got all the tools that you can play with. But most website platforms, whether it's our sites or Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, whatever you might be using, um, all of those platforms are constantly working to make sure that whatever changes in technology occur, that they're getting updated. So mobile friendly is built in to most of those things. But if you have a site that you did a custom build on 10 years ago, the internet has changed a lot. So you need to go back to your developers and say, hey, I need to make sure my website is mobile friendly. Now, what is mobile friendly? That means that it looks just as good and easy to use on a tablet as well as my phone, and there's not weird pop-ups that are making the page get all janky and confusing. So it's that it works in those environments, but it's also that it is easy to navigate. And I said something a few weeks ago about even buttons, the button size on your mobile experience with your website. If you just have hyperlinks, well, big fingers like mine won't be able to easily get on those links. So I need big buttons, full size, full width buttons there. That not only makes it a good user experience, but Google is looking at that. Are your buttons big enough for accessibility issues, right? So the other thing would be your images. So if you have uh, images on your website that are like 3 MB, that's a very large file if you didn't know. Um, for that to render when your page loads, that increases the time for it to load. And a lot of people on a mobile device, they just jump away. They're like, no. Even a desktop, it can slow the load time on it, but mainly on mobile devices. So you want to make sure that all of your images on your site are, I would say, around 100 KB. That's MB is megabytes and kilobytes, I think it is. Wow, I can't believe I don't know. I just know KB, so that's a smaller file size. It's not as detailed. So whenever you're asked for a high-res photo, you're looking for megabytes. You want a larger file. But for the web, you want smaller images, so KB. So around 100. I'd say if you're over 100, that's okay. But 200, I'd start to look at, that's going to slow things down a little bit. And you've all experienced it. Now, you might not be as old as me, but back in the early days of the web, you would have to wait for pages to load, and they would load like line by line, and you would wait because you wanted to be on that website, but that was a very large file, and it took a long time, and internet speed was not what it is today. Today, you go to websites that load really fast. It's like, oh, it's just like an app. It's that fast. And then others you go to, it's like, oh, it takes a moment, but maybe I'm gonna wait, maybe I'm not gonna wait. So you want to make sure that your page loads really fast. And the things that you can do on that is make sure that you're on a platform that is up to date. So again, all of those that I mentioned, sites, our sites, Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, um, they all maintain that, but you have to make sure that you're not loading gigantic files up there, gigantic video files. If you can host those on YouTube or Vimeo, that's the way to go. And then embed those into your page. That will load much faster. You can do, if you can do a search for uh, test my website, page loading, and you can drop in your URL and it will tell you how long pages take to load. and most of them will tell you you're in the yellow, you're in the green, you're good. So they kind of give you an idea of it. But load your phone, your website on your phone right now. Does everything look right? Is there a lot of blank space before images start to load? If that's the case, then you need to look at your images and make some adjustments there. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go over to the Q&A just to see. Um, I don't want to get behind on here. Amanda said, now you're telling your age. I thought you were just reaching your mid-30 range, 30s. Yes, I am, Amanda, but I've got an old soul, so there's a lot of information there. Let's see. Oh, and you know what? I love Erica because she's giving me the actual term. She said, talking about predictive searches and what people look for in our industry. You also want to use layman's terms. Multi-gen is a great example. It's a travel advisor term, not typically a consumer phrase. Yeah. So who would be searching for multi-gen travel? Probably grandparents. I would say would be a big one that would a group that would be searching. So traveling with my grandkids, vacations with my grandkids, things like that. They're not searching for multi-gen, yet between you and I, we're talking all the time. Oh, I'm multi-gen. I do multi-gen groups. So thank you, Erica, for chiming in. And that's called predictive search when you get the suggestions from Google. Kara said, if my blog allows for tags and categories, is that something Google uses? Should I take time to add a ton of tags onto each particular blog post? So what Kara's talking about is in her website platform, a CMS, a content management system that she's using. It allows for categories and tags when she's creating a blog post, which should on her website allow for there to be, here's the list of categories or tags. I can click on those and see if it's Rome, the category Rome, I can go there and then there might be tags on family vacations, culinary experiences. Maybe those are her tags. So she's asking, does that signal anything to Google? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So if you have categories and tags, it's showing that you're organizing your content, you're thinking about the user. So using that is a part of the coding on your website. And when Google indexes your website, it looks for things like that. It also looks for things that you have bolded in the copy that you've written on the page, and also things that you've made as headers. So you might do a header that says about me. Well, a lot of people have that. But if you said about Joshua Harrell, then someone searching for Joshua Harrell, Google says, well, this website had Joshua Harrell in the header. That said that was the most important. That was out of everything on the page, that was the most important a piece of content there. So this probably works. And then if my name maybe is bolded somewhere in the body text, then it says, oh, and then it has a secondary emphasis on this name. This is probably a site I want to show when someone's searching for Joshua Harrell. So yes, if you have the ability to easily add categories and tags, that's going to make a better user experience. It's going to have people who maybe land on this one particular blog post, but then they see there's other categories that they can look at within your blog, because they're not just going to meander through your website most of the time. Give them these links to get, whether it's even linking to content deeper within your website in a blog post that you do or a web page that you do. So as you're reading, you're like, oh, I want to jump in there. And then I go over, I just stay in the environment of your website. Now, you specifically said, should I take the time to add a ton of tags onto each particular post? No, not a ton. You do not want a ton. Do not go tag crazy. Really think about tags that you're going to create more content on. So it becomes a way for a user on your website to click on a tag and see all the blog posts that you've created. And it could be 2 blog posts, it could be 13. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it's a way to cluster content that is similar. And it makes it easier for someone who is looking for a deeper dive in that particular topic. So I would, in terms of categories, I wouldn't go more than 10. I think that that would be a lot. And for each category, you might have uh, 5 to 10 tags, but you might have 20 tags across your blog that transcend several different categories. So just think about it more from a structure standpoint versus like a keyword or a hashtag that you would use in social media. You can be a little more free with the hashtags. Okay, so I hope that helps, but not a ton. No ton there. Uh, let's see here. So let's talk. So I want to make sure I do this. I want to briefly talk about the types of content that you can create because I've done a few sessions on content. And if you want to look back on old sessions of or past sessions, don't forget you can go to our YouTube page. Just look for World Via Travel Network and you'll see all the past episodes of the Travel Marketeering Saturday sessions. So I have done a deeper dive in content, but I wanted to write down at least six of some content ideas because now that you have these keyword phrases, you want to create content, right? You want to create content. This is different from, I mean, the keyword phrases you want to make sure you incorporate into your website pages, like your about page, your services page, and maybe you have destination specific pages or travel category specific pages. You want to make sure you're incorporating keywords there. But I wanted to give some content ideas that you can incorporate on the web pages or you can incorporate in your blog posts or social posts. So here's six. Personal stories. People love personal stories. What is unique about how do you stand out in the marketplace? You are the only you in the universe. So your personal stories are fantastic. And they also open the door and let people see what it's like to work with you. And if you have multiple advisors within your agency, allow them to share those personal stories. So then when they get Barbara on the phone, they can go and see some personal stories from Barbara. Um, Use descriptive language. Do not be a robot. Robots do nothing for me. I need you to paint with all the colors of the rainbow, okay? Use descriptive language. And if you're not good at that, use content AI tools. We have a tool called a Content Generator, which helps you create blog posts and bios and things like that. You can use something like ChatGPT. You can say, here's what I want to say, make this a lot more fun and compel people to contact me for more information. I don't know, just give it some prompts to help you paint with all the colors of the rainbow, but make sure you use that descriptive language because in that descriptive language, it stretches out the content. It's more attractive to read. It's more compelling to read, but it helps when Google is indexing to make sure it can serve you up and increase your discoverability. It helps to have more robust. I know Erica loves that word more rich content on your pages. So use descriptive language. Um, uh, have compelling interactions that are built into the content. So if you have feedback from a client or a client's experience, share that. And that's the same for testimonials. Testimonials that are keyword rich when a client provides you those are excellent. But incorporate that it's not just you telling a story, you're sharing some interactions that helps that user see themselves in you and your website. And that might sound odd when we're talking about search engine optimization, but it's a different palette to paint with. And you're adding more content to your site, thus signaling to Google, hey, there's a variety of content. It's a robot. It doesn't necessarily know, but it's got a pretty good idea. It's got millions of websites that or millions of web pages. It's scrolling or it's consuming. It can tell that there's different types of content. So share these interactions and give people that chance to visitors to interact with you. And that could even be something like if your website, if your blog allows you to have comments that users can add, that helps with search engine optimization and that content creation. Um, Diverse formats, write, use photos, create videos, create audio files. If you get started on a podcast, incorporate that into your site, use all the formats. Again, paint with all the colors of the rainbow, please. And provide valuable insights. I kind of combine two, the interactions from your audience, getting them to interact, as well as information that you have on clients and their experiences and the stories that they tell. So I combined two there, sorry. But share valuable insights. Do you know that Alaska is so popular for 2025 that there's a small window of inventory left to book? Share some of those insights. If it's more evergreen content that's going to live for a long period of time, then share what you know. Nobody wants to go to Rome for the night before the cruise. They need probably at very minimum 2 days to before they get on a cruise to say they've experienced Rome. And the reason why I say that is because I did that. I thought I was going to tick Rome off my list by flying into Rome. I spent half a day sleeping and then went to the port. So anyway, share your valuable insights, not just the stories that you're weaving together about what you sell, right? Share little nuggets of what makes you an expert. Okay. So those are six content. I know I absorbed two into one, but those are content types just to help you think about what content maybe you should be creating. Um, all right, so I want to talk about on-page SEO. And I've talked about this before, but I didn't actually show, and mainly because knows this, and some of you saw this, is I shared my whole screen and you saw my desktop and it was messy. So today I'm not going to do that. But I wanted to briefly show you the on-page SEO. And I'm using our website builder sites. Let's see. Could someone please confirm that they're not seeing my whole desktop because that is not attractive. I want you to see something that says page SEO. No desktop today. Thank you, Kara. I appreciate you so much. So again, I'm in our WorldVia Pro sites, which is a website builder. Um, but you're going to see this same, I don't know, I can't give everybody instructions on how to get there on all the different platforms, but I've used so many different platforms that I can say they're pretty much all the same. So I'm in the back end. This is a website that's not published, but for me to get to my on-page SEO, and I'm going to tell you what that is in just a moment, but I go to pages and then I go to the page and here I got three dots. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Oh no, I get it. There it is. I find edit page SEO. Like I said, this is the similar across Weebly, Wix, Squarespace, most of the platforms. So your on-page SEO, outside of making sure that you've got keywords in your content, is your meta title and your meta description. And on all platforms, this should be something that you can easily edit. And you'll see here, here's where I can type in my page title. That's the meta title and my page meta description. And it tells you want to keep to 55 characters or less for the page title. For the description, it says keep it 160 characters. Now, when you search on Google for anything, on the search engine result page, you have some big text at the top. That is your meta title. The the sentences underneath it in smaller text is sorry, uh the meta description. Okay. So you want to make sure that this is like a billboard. You want to make sure your headline says what you want it to say, and you want that few lines of text underneath it to compel the person to click on it. This is your online billboard, okay? And if you haven't updated this, this is the fastest way that you can give your website a refresh when it comes to SEO, is go through the pages and add the title and description. Uh, it, it's it's something that I have seen within 30 days, somebody taking an existing website and then updating that. It really changes the effectiveness of people clicking, or increases the chances of people clicking and coming to the website. It also just looks good across the web. So let's see, Erica just said, getting content into specific character counts is also a great place to use AI. Rewrite this in 100 characters. So yeah, you can even say, hey, I want to write a meta title for my page, and use an AI tool. And it might give you sentences and sentences, and you got to say, no, cut it back. I need 55 characters. And then it might give you an idea. It might do a great job. It might not, but you can make those decisions. But I have found it really helpful to say, here's a keyword phrase. I need to write a meta description under 100 characters. And it's done a really good job. So as you can see, we've got AI tools built in to be able to build that. So I want to tell you that in any platform, you can look for page SEO. Sometimes it'll even say meta title, meta description, in terms of like how you navigate within your web platform to find it. But go through and refresh it. Sometimes by default, it just takes the website's name and then says Joshua's travel agency bar, and then it says home. Well, that's not good. Or about. No, let's do about Joshua's travel agency, right? That is more friendly from a headline perspective. That is going to make me click. If I just see a bunch of entries that say Joshua Harrell's travel agency and then the different pages, most of the time Google will clump those together and you don't have control over it. It doesn't look like you want it to look. So very easy thing. And this is something that you can refresh, kind of going back to what I was talking about with Amanda and when she revisits SEO. And to do it all the time, this is something you can revisit on a regular basis. So I wanted to show you, I did a branded search for World Via Travel Network here. So here you can see our meta title is World Via Travel Network, then slash host agency. Why did we do that? Because if you're looking for a host agency, you might not know World Via Travel Network. So we want to make sure on our main page, it said we're a host agency. And then we have a meta description that says Worldview Travel Network makes becoming an independent travel professional simple. As your host agency, we give you an edge, supplying you with everything. And then it gets truncated because, and on different devices, it's going to get truncated. So you want to make sure you lead with the important. Don't have a big wind up. Really get to the point. Here we're saying becoming an independent travel professional simple. As your host agency, we give you an edge. That is enough for me to click on here. Now, you notice membership plans, World Via's World 24, about contact events. So I'm gonna fall on this here and say, why so you can't control what Google has pulled these up. These little sub pages has pulled these up because these are the most visited pages on our website. So it's saying, since it's so they're so frequented, these might be where you want to go to directly to what you specifically want to know about this host agency, WorldVia. Now, here I can tell you this is just taking the page name. No one has created the title for these pages or the description. So that's a massive opportunity for us. Our team should go in here and look at these meta titles and meta descriptions and make it just as descriptive and as something I want to click on as that main page. And I'm going to go down to events. A lot of people go to our events page. Now, what I see in the meta description, not bad. Our calendar is full of live education coaching. Love that. But events, that's not saying World Via Travel Network's events, right? Opportunity, opportunity. So I just wanted to show you that, but I wanted to show you that I did a branded search. So I used the company name. And when I did that, and like I said, unless they know the company name, they're not going to be doing a branded search, but we still want to look at this, right? But here, our website shows up and then our Google My Business. So this is what shows up when you search, and because we've claimed the Google My Business, but this is what shows up where, and we don't even have it verified yet. It's not, hasn't completed the verification step. So I just wanted to show you that you can have this much without going through the verification, but you just want to be verified so you can do more. Now, for our business, we're a host agency. We're not selling travel. So I wanted to show you what somebody might search that would want to come to our agency. Now, I am not incognito on this search. I just wanted to clarify that. So I did, what is a host agency? And the first site that comes up is Host Agency Reviews. I mean, I feel like they've been writing about content around host agencies for a long time. So they show up as number one. But guess who shows up as a Google answer? And that's these questions right here. For what is a hosting agency? WorldVia comes up, our website comes up in that search. So now that was a beautiful thing. But what I want to tell you about that is this particular page was created in 2019. And in 2020, we took over and became a Google answer. And we're still holding on to that to this day. Do we update this page? So, occasionally. But right now, this is a great page. It is about what we do. So think about your agency and what you do and making sure you have one of a page like this. That's a cornerstone of your site. And then how you can update this page and keep it fresh is add videos, link to other newer content that you've created, help unpack the story further. But I wanted to point that out that this is something that will pay dividends over time. This page right here is where most of our organic traffic comes from on our website. This page right here. And it was built in 2019, and we very rarely touch it to this day. So think about the opportunities that you have to create content around these keyword phrases that you've researched and how you lay the foundation today and how you can expand upon it. So I hope that was helpful. I know there's a lot of work to do here, and you're never going to be done. You're never going to be able to say, I'm finished. But it's something, like I said, you're going to do the work now. It's going to pay dividends later, but you have to do the work now. You have to hit publish. You have to go live. You have to make it available in order for you to start reaping the benefits of it. So I know there's Q&A, so I want to pop over there. I know we're going a little bit over here, but if there was anything that you left that you're going to leave this session with that you're going to act on in the next 7 days, drop that down in the chat because it's really, really helpful for me to see what you found most helpful. So as we build these sessions in the future, I can continue to incorporate things like that. And also, it just makes me feel really happy that you've got something that you're going to be working on and in your marketeering, your travel marketeering. That just means the world to me. So I'm going to pop over there. Also, I want to make sure, please search Facebook. We have a Facebook group for travel marketeers, not travel marketeering, travel marketeers. So search for that. Join our travel marketeer Facebook group. It's just getting started, but we'd love to have you there. Love to share different things with you. Andrea on our team is the keeper of that community, and she has committed to making sure that she's dropping all the cool stuff there first. So please go over there. Let's see here. Just let me just see if there's anything. So Peggy had originally at the beginning said, preparing to move my WordPress website to Sites, which is the World Via tool. So anxious to hear about it. So I'm glad I at least showed you a little bit of it. But Peggy, since you're already a member of our network, please join. There's App Tuesdays, and they're going to talk about sites. They're going to talk about other apps that we have. But please tune in. There's a lot of content on sites within World Via Pro. So I hope you get to take advantage of that. Uh, let let's see. Carol said, I just did an incognito search and a phrase came up that I have never used on my Facebook posts. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But uh, I'm glad that you use incognito, and it's a great way to test. Do a branded search because you want to see how you look if someone is searching for your brand, but then also look for your keyword phrases. All right. Erica said, Kara, I bet you can use tags to bucket your types of adventure travel. Yes, you use tags or, well, because from a category perspective, adventure travel would be your category, but you could have the different types of adventure travel as your tags. Love it. Peggy said, I use Facebook a lot, posting videos of my travel. That's excellent. But if you are posting those videos, make sure you create a blog post with the video, host it on YouTube or Vimeo, or sometimes you can host it on the website platform, and then have some copy underneath it describing the video because that copy is what Google would be searching and combing through. And people love a video. So that maybe they don't even read the post that you've attached to the video, but they'll watch that video. So use that content that you're creating elsewhere on your website for sure. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Kara said, should the meta title match the title on the page, or can they be different to try and grab more people for different searches? E.g., if my blog post is Portugal, uh, uh, hyphen 2024, should my meta title be family trip to Portugal or something with other keywords? Um, should it match for your blog post? You pose an interesting question there. Your page title for the navigation doesn't necessarily have to match your meta title. And I would always go for a more marketing focused meta title. But you specifically are talking about a blog post and you're asking, should it be different? I would look at your blog post title as being as optimized for search as possible. So I would look at combining what you were trying to say here, that it says your blog post is named, or the title is Portugal 2024. I would make the blog post title Family Trip to Portugal in 2024, something like that. To make sure that the title on your page, like on the blog, as well as the meta title, are all working for you because those are different little signals to Google. But you want to make sure that they all sing together. So that would be my advice there. Daniela said, goodness, this is embarrassing. I've been updating my website regularly, but I forgot about the meta title and description. Thank you. Well, Daniela, don't feel bad because we have a whole team of people that work on our website on a regular basis. And when I went to prepare that example for you, I was devastated. But the great thing is we can fix it. We can fix it today. So don't worry about it. You know about it. That's the big thing. Peggy said, I had a lot of questions answered. I'm so happy. Kara said, my to-do going through and updating my meta titles. I don't think I realized their value as much before until your explanation. So thank you. I'm glad. Peggy said, moving my WordPress website to sites and definitely going to do my Google business. I love it. And that is it. Guys, thank you for joining me. Thanks for staying a little bit late. Erica, thanks for joining me. I know you're watching from the airport, so thank you for joining and contributing. I really, really appreciate these. Again, if you have any questions, email me joshua@worldvia.com. I would love to answer any questions that you may have. And again, go join our YouTube channel, World Via Travel Network, search for it, and then join the Facebook group for travel marketeers. All right, until next time, see you real soon. Take care. Bye.